So it might be that that was breaking it as well. There's going to be videos. So as soon as the video is done, you'll have access to them. And this is kind of this is kind of the kind of the basis for those videos. Um, I just want to get through something and show you something entirely. I'm just conscious of it just keeps crashing all the time. It yeah, it could just be something in the script. So first thing I want to do is, as we mentioned before, briefly, just clean up the screen a little bit. So I'm just going to use the again. I'm just going to quick look at the IBK color color gizmo, and we just want to kind of we want to do like a clean plate to help us. Just going to move this down a sec. So for here, we obviously in this case we've got like these hairs. So I'm just going to play around with these darks a little bit. It's not doing that much for us, but will an erode help a little bit, and will a patch black help? No, it won't. So what's that? What that's doing is dragging from those pixels, and obviously you can see at the minute we've got the hair still, so we need to get rid of that hair. Let's just kind of increase a bit more. It's not doing. It's not too bad. Let's just increase it a little bit more even. It's starting to work a little bit nicer for it. Oh, that's way too much. That's way too much, I think. So we want to try and find that sweet spot. We want to try it. We do want to keep the plate as much as we can. So that we kind of look between the two. It's not too bad, and we can start to kind of build on that now. So all we need to do is I'm just going to literally go Control C, Control V, and just start to stack these up. I'm just going to increase this to 2, then do Control C, Control V, increase it to 4, and then probably one more, Control C, Control V, increase it to 6. There you go. So we've got a nice, clean screen. And then we want to do a PXF screen clean. Where is it? Screen clean. There you go. Sweet. So that can go in there, and that can go in like so. There you go. Great. It's some reason pink to begin with. I don't know why. I'm just going to literally select our green and then do that. And then the difference between the two, you see that there. So what we'll do, I'm just going to stop down a little bit. You might able to see like a slight variation in color. And if you can tell between the two, so that's our before and that's our after. There's a big difference there. There is a big difference. So now, if we were to pull a key on this, let's do a key light. It's just really nice using the key light. I'm just going to plug that in there like so. There you go. So we're going to plug in. Going to do a quick key on there. That's not looking too bad at all. We're getting some stuff over here, but we're kind of keeping some of this hair detail, which is quite nice. Not bad at all. Not bad, but we are probably losing a little bit of detail. Let's just see what it looks like. I mean, the actual key, the actual green screen is actually pretty decent, to be honest. Let's just use it from here instead. So I'm just going to go back here and then just pull a key, and that's literally gone. So differences between the two. We're getting a little bit of extra stuff. Well, if I just do a key light, if I just plug in that into there. See that? So this is the same key light. So this is, I'm not changed them. They're exactly the same. So this is now, and that was before. So straight away, we're getting a better key. Now we're getting problems over here where there's holes. If I was to stop down this, someone just come in. I think someone just jumps in the conversation. I can't see who. Just a moment. I heard it jingle, but I can't see who's actually. Oh, admit. Oh, it's Sonia. Yeah, that's it. So makes it a bit smaller. There we go. So got the footage. Just going to make it brighter again. That's the basic key light, and you can see some artifacts. And this is the same key light as what we've used over here. So let's have a quick look what we did. So we just literally went over across here. We just did the IBK gizmos to do the to do a difference. It just basically does a difference between the two. That's how it kind of, that's how it can pull a key as well. And we'll have a look again in that in a moment, how we can use this again for something else. And then we can use the screen clean. So it uses the clean plate and the original and kind of works out the difference between the two. Quite clever how it works. And just to prove, so this is the key that we pulled using this, and then we're just going to copy that and pull that into the original. And then this is without. So you see the alpha channel there still kind of got some, pollution. And we'd have to do a little bit of work to kind of get rid of that. But that just shows you kind of like what you can do with this technique. And this is my preferred technique. This is what I prefer to use. Now there's other keys as well. So another one you can use, which is pretty cool, is the keyer. Now this is kind of useful for like, oh, not the key light, the keyer. This is quite cool for like skies, and if I hit A now, there's an alpha channel on it straight away, which is really cool. And we can kind of play around with stuff. We can do stuff like that. So it's good for kind of doing hair as well. It's good for doing skies. So if I just bring in a sky image, I think there's a sky image somewhere. There's a sky image. Must be some sky image. There we go. Great. So there's a sky image. And if we were to say use, at the minute, there's no alpha channel, so there's nothing. We can obviously just create one by hitting shuffle and having something that's, but then we can't do much with that. Might want to just extract this sky. We might just want to extract that. So what we can do is we just going to plug in a keyer again. Just deleted it because I wanted it to be fresh. So this is a keyer. And now it's got an alpha channel. And we can start to kind of play around with this a little bit. And we can start to, if we can see here, we're getting this, which is quite nice. Crank this up a little bit. Breaking a little bit, but we're getting something there that we could potentially use to grade. So now let's just do a dot like so. We'll go back to this again in a minute and we'll look at how we can finish that. So there's our key. There's our key. We can do an invert on that so we can get an alpha channel for this cloud area. We could then do a grade on this, on the alpha channel. And we could play around with kind of clipping them blacks back a little bit. Ignore the color, doesn't matter. All we care about is the alpha channel. We can then just do a grade. And you can imagine this cloud moving or doing something. We could plug this into here, like so. And we could play around with, let's just do just do like a width. We could change the temperature. And we've just done that by, if we've got no alpha channel, not been given one. And we could do like an erode blur, like an edge blur, just to kind of help those edges a little bit. Edge blur. And we can kind of play around that a little bit to help, just to help it a little bit. See there, before and after, just to help those artifacts. And you might want to you know, there's quite a lot of noise. So let's just denoise this as well. So always remember to denoise everything. Like so. It might be this that's breaking it, these denoisers. That might be what it was. But so I've turned my GPU off in case it is. That was crashing before. So before, after. Probably just there you go, 10. There you go. So we're taking all the detail away. We've got it back though with Das Noise. Das Grain. Is it Das Grain? Yeah. So now, you know, we're able to, and we've changed it entirely. You know, and yeah, that's the power of it. So you can do a lot with it. You know, if you've got a shot where you've got a sky behind one of your characters, the skateboard shot or anything like that, you can just use this keyer to kind of pull a key. And then you can kind of invert it, do a bit of a grade on it. You can use it for coloring, or you know, it's really handy. To be honest, you know, and you might just want to just take this little bit here. So you know, you might just do like a merge on there, and just you might just want this little bit. You know, you might just want this little bit actually. Let's say, and then just do. I think just do. Is it mask? Is it? No. Stencil. Oh. Let's go in. Oh. Ah, we go. That's because it's clips on. That's interesting. It's not working for us. We should be looking at it should be cutting this out for us. Did this before as well. It should be cutting this out for us, but it's not. Which is annoying. It could be because the image is not HD. Do it a different way. Yeah, it should be cutting this out for us. So just be leaving. Just be leaving. Should be leaving the bottom part, but it's not. It's leaving that. It's funny because if you turn it around the other way, it's doing the opposite of what I want it to do. It's do it, you know, and it's. I think it's to do with the resolution. You know, I really do. I think because the resolution of the plate of the so this is a great example of this just not quite working. So this is resolution of the plate, and then the roto has conformed to the resolution of the scene. You know, it's just weird. See that? It's literally not working as expected there, is it? So, oh, that's better. It's the other way around. There you go. There you go. Weird computers. Cool. So we've done that. So that's the keyer. I'm just going to type backdrop. Put keyer there. So it's, you can start thinking about how you can use that. And you can use it. You can use it just to remove a sky. If you've got a let's say if you have a kind of a blown out sky, this is perfect for just pulling a key on that. because traditionally you always think about key, you know, keying as like blue or green screen, don't you? You don't really think about, okay, I can use it on a white sky. And this is our clean. This is our screen. This is our screen clean. Okay, so before this is to go over what we have done. So this is how we had a bit of work to it. This has been denoised, and we've just removed some markers. So we've literally removed these sort of markers, and you can do a track if you like, or you can just do like use a paint node and just paint out frame by frame. If that's what you want to do, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so that's the so we've had a look at the key light. I'm just going to put like a dot there and put key light. So I had a look at that. We had a look at the uneven green screen before as well, before the machine crashed. But what we'll do is I will do a specific video just on that. So that's our key light, which looks relatively okay. There's like holes and stuff, so we have to fill things in, but relatively speaking, it's not too bad. The next one we'll have a look at is we've got a primer. Very good. So that uses a foreground and background. So I have to bring the background in. So let's bring in the background. It's got this basic kind of like lab. There you go. I'm just going to reformat this down to match our plate. The plate's weird resolution. And I'm just going to set this to, there you go. So that does a pretty good job. I mean, we have done a bit of prep on this on the actual screen, but it's not bad. So if we have a quick look at the difference between the two. So there's a key light, and this is the Primat. It's to like 30 or something. There you go. Great. So that's that, and then that's that. So you can you could combine the two. And there's bits and pieces that I like about the key light, and also the Primat's pretty decent. So that's quite a good approach, to be honest. So we've got, just kind of go over again. There's our footage. We've had a quick look at how you can utilize a keyer. This is how, in different scenarios. This is just cleaning the screen using the PXF screen clean, and then we're looking at the key light and the Primat. And you can see there's obviously green spill everywhere, and obviously that's something we actually want to look at next. Is different options for removing like the color spill. So yeah, so that's a pretty decent one. IBK. So we've got IBK Gizmo as well, which is pretty cool. So that needs the clean plate, the foreground, and the background. So let's have a quick look at what that does. So I'm just going to grab, so this is going to be the foreground, like so. And I'm just going to bring this up like that. Think how to sort this out actually. I'll do that actually staggered. And this is our background. And we need our clean plate, which is that gizmo. So I'm just going to actually, just going to plug that into there. I'll sort this out in a second. I'm just going to do that. I'm going to do that. There you go. That's quite clean. So that's the clean plate. That's the background, and that's the gizmo. So we just need to choose what color. So I'm just going to go green, and we want to use background luminance as well. So this will actually use the background. I'll actually use the background to help with the integration, which is quite nice. So now if we were to, so at the minute it's not actually showing us. It's not actually showing us then at the background, but it's using the background to help us. So we've got this really nice alpha, which looks fairly good. I mean, there's holes in it and stuff, which we have to fill, but you get the idea. Then what we can do is we can, well, we've got a nice alpha channel there, and it has treated the plate, it has done something to the plate as well. That's the other thing, you know, do we want it to do something to the plate? I don't know. Probably not. We want to keep the plate intact. We don't really want to touch it so much. And we are losing some hair detail, to be honest. But what you could do is you could just do a like so. We could do an A under B. So the A would be under B. And we can see see this is now behind. If I was just to untick that, I don't know whether it's better it being. You can see it's trying to use the luminance from the background to help with our edges. What we can actually do is I'm just going to do a quick grade on this. I'm just going to make it a little bit closer. So I'm going to make it sit in a little bit better. So I'm just going to do a quick gain and change the temperature on this. I'm just make it a little bit magenta-y. And I'm also going to do a defocus on it, slight defocus. Along those lines. And then that's starting to kind of work now. That's not looking too bad at all. This just gets updated accordingly, which is pretty cool. But what we don't really want to tamper with anything. I mean, you can see, at the minute this is all getting filtered. This is the IBK gizmo. So IBK gizmo. And you'll use these on a case-by-case basis. You might mix them together. That 30, it should be 30, shouldn't it? There you go. So you might make these together, so you can kind of grab something you like over here, you know. So you can see the difference in results. I mean, obviously that this hasn't been de-spilled, but we're kind of retaining some hair detail, which is cool. Great. So what you want to try and do is you want to try and create a map, you know, and looking at these maps, they're kind of different, to be honest. We're getting different results. I mean, we're getting that, and that. And what I'm noticing is there's still some artifacts, to be honest. To be quite frank. But if we click on the auto levels, that will take things down for us a little bit. So we actually bring in a little bit of detail back, to be honest, but then it breaks around this area. So we have to be really, really careful. And we might want to do like a grade on this as well. Stick a grade underneath here. And we might want to just help with those blacks. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stick an unpremult on top of it. And then a premult like so. So if we do want to do a grade or anything like that, we can do without it creating those dodgy black edges. So we can kind of start to bring down, stick this to alpha, start to play around with these black points just to kind of get rid of those artifacts. Now we're having to do a little bit of work for the IBK gizmo to get it to work, but the others are kind of there already. Obviously we're getting the holes, but we can fill those in quite easily. So this is, I think the Primat's like a really nice result. It's a really good starting point. So I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. I am quite happy. I am quite happy with that. Now I don't tend to touch these, to be honest, because all I care about is the mat. That's it. And I'll show you what I mean now. So what I'll do now is I'm just going to grab the footage. So I want the footage in its raw state. So I'm just going to do that and that. And this is where we're going to start looking at the hue. So these are our matte options. I'm just going to do a backdrop. These are our matte options, I'd say. Matte options. So obviously we're getting this green and we want to sort that out. So what we want to do now is, and this is fine, we've got a few options here. We can just decide which one we want to use in a minute. So I'm just going to put dots on here and we just decide which one we want to use. You can mix and match by using maybe like a key mix node to kind of, grab something from one and use it in another. You might be able to grab the hair from this one, the key light, and then we might want to grab the hair from the Primat and mix it together. So we've got a couple of options there. And now what I want to do is I want to use a kill spill. Got a PXF Fudger kill spill, which is awesome. If I plug that into there like so, it removes the green for us pretty much. Now, it's quite hard to tell, but there is still a little bit of green left in here. It's a tad. So what we might have to do is what we can do is we can actually use a hue correct as well. So there's a couple of options we've got with Kit doing the spill. We've got the kill spill, which is my third option. We've got a key light, which we can use as well. So the way you use a key light, I'm just going to move this down. So make a bit of space. It's a bit bigger. I'll set this to 30. Make it bold. And I'll do the key light as well. Okay, great. So we've got the key light. So what we can do there is all we have to do is we don't have to pull a key. All I have to do is go screen color is green. And there you go. So it gives us a similar result, but not the same result at all. It's also removed some luminosity. You see that? We're losing detail. Where with the PXF kill spill, there's no change at all, any luminosity. Where the key light breaks it a little bit. Kind of go between the two there. Oh, sorry. So it's moving. So it's kind of changing, like this has been really clever. It's kind of retaining that color. So we have to be careful about removing luminosity from the footage with this. So there's kill spill. There's key light. Let's look at hue saturation. So hue saturation, hue correct, isn't it? Yeah. So hue correct, you've kind of used to using. I think you might have used it before. I'm just going to grab that. So it's a bit bigger. 30 and bold. So what you can do is we can go green suppression, click on green suppression or red or whatever you want, and then just literally grab that, and we can pull this down like that, and then all of a sudden our greens go away to a certain degree. We're getting green still right left around the edges, and it's kind of really, I think it might have made, it's taken out, we're taking out the color of the hair as well. But you can use this in conjunction with the kill spill. So the kill spill is the best option, I'd say, but there's still a bit of green left in the hair. So what we can do with a hue correct, I mean, hue corrects are, are good, but what you can do is we can use a hue correct to do our edges. So what I mean by that is we can sample. If I just kind of go over here and click on green and go control and click, we can start to sample some colors here. And they've got the yellow line moving around. And that's kind of where we're at in terms of green. So if I just click there and just do control, so now it stops, control alt click. It'll put a dot, control alt left click. And we can just bring that down and see them green areas start to go. We have to be really careful though, because that's light as well. We've got to remember that's light. So we just want to maybe nudge it down a little bit. So you can see before and after. So that's kind of where we want to, don't want to go too far with this. So before, after, and it is subtle. It's subtle. So these are our, this is kind of my working spill fix. Got the kill spill, then I got hue correct, and you can just start sampling stuff. So you can sample, let's say this edge is a problem, you can do control alt click, and you get one there, and you can pull that right down, So there's you can literally, so you're having problems with edges, you can just use the hue, do the kill spill to get you nearly there, and use the hue correct to sample the edges, which is really cool. So I'm just gonna just backdrop that. And that's our spill solution. Okay, great. Okay, so we've got spill solutions. We've got our matte solutions as well. I'm just going to give myself a little bit of space. Okay, so we've got spill. I've had a quick look at Kia, and we've also done like a nice green screen clean, which works in most cases. And to be honest, in reality, if the plate's really bad, it just gets rotoed. I mean, it literally, that's what happens. So we've got mattes, Keylight, Primatte, and IBK Gizmo, and we've got the spill. Again, there's 3 options there, I'd say use, and they work quite well. I think there's another one as well. There's like a spill. What's it called? Spill to color note. I think there's one. I think we've got one in Kia spill. I think is app. Got app great screen clean. Got app despill, and that's another option, which is similar to. It looks exactly the same, doesn't it now? That's mad. It's just worked straight away. So before, after. That is literally the same as kill spill. It's giving the very similar results. So these 2 are really quite good, to be honest. So feel free to have a look at those 2 options. So that's the app despill. That'll be found in the Swiss Army knife stuff. That's the essential tools, and this is the Pixel Fudger stuff. So they're pretty good, very similar in terms of results. They're the best ones for spilling. Okay, great. So now what we want to do is we've got this nice clean despilled footage. We need to grab this alpha now from here, and I'm going to grab it from, I think here. I think which one's best? Let's say this one. So I'm just going to grab that and I go to copy, like so, and I'm just going to grab that's my despill footage. I'm going to go another dot, that there like so. I'm just going to grab that from there. Okay, great. So now this has got, if I hit A on the keyboard now, I've copied the alpha channel and we've now got a working, it's dead nice and clean. It's not getting filtered. I mean, we have denoised it, obviously, done a bit of cleanup to it, but it's going to get noise. That's the only thing we want to do to it is denoise it. We don't want to start putting it through all this and tuning it to bits. We want to just keep it as it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this stuff. This was just used to help with the background, with the IBK. I'm just going to do that, and I'm just going to do a merge. A under B. I'm just going to give it an alpha channel as well. I think it's got one already. No, it's not. I thought it might have. But just create an alpha channel just to make sure everything's nice and clean. There's that background, A under B, and there. So that's now over the top, which is looking a bit not looking great, to be honest. Just going to do an unpremal on there, premal, and then over the top. A under B, a bit washed out into it. Like before. There you go. So the edges are a bit, they're not great. They're a bit funny in places, to be honest. You see there, those edges there aren't that great. This stuff looks okay. Back, we're getting a bit of a nasty fringe on there, on that side. What we can do is we can use a color smear. That helps us. That helps a lot. That will kind of help us with some of those edges. See that? Really kind of helps fix some of those edge issues. It's really nice, and that's worked quite well actually. And then we've got an edge blur as well, just to help. But we have to be careful because we're starting to lose. It's starting to remove lots of this detail now. It's just subtle, I think. Just needs to be subtle. I'm just going to move this poster, this background into place a bit more. Just going to move it over a little bit, like so. Quite like that. I'm just going to make it a bit bigger as well. Place that behind his head. That really does help us. So that's what you'd also do as well. I mean, you can actually see a little bit of green coming through there. So you can start to see that now. There's a little bit of green. It just feels like there's a tad, just a little bit of green coming through. So I'm just going to go back to my hue correct. Go to green and just have a quick look and see what's going on. So there's a little bit something there. Control click. So you have to be really, really careful with this. So it says super subtle. Yeah, it's kind of working. Okay. So it's not looking too bad. So now what we'll do is we'll just compare it to the original footage. So there's a little bit of difference, to be honest. Like here, for example, like the bottom parts, like this is different. Like these edges are relatively okay, but they're not perfect, to be honest. Okay. So what I want to do now is I want to look at adding some hair detail back, because I think we've lost a bit of hair detail as well. Like you got on these fine, if I just make it a bit quite fine detail there that we're kind of missing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the footage. So I'm just going to get a dot here. What footage are we using? This is the one, isn't it? Get that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna create a blur, like so. And I'm just gonna set this to merge. And then we'll do a from, like so. So if I was to do a from now, it'd be black because it's literally just taking one from the other. But if we start to play around with a blur and decrease that, let's see that start to see this detail, which is awesome. So all this detail starting to appear. Do RGB, we're actually seeing that really nice fine hair detail, which is great. That's the difference between the two now. So the difference between the two would is this high frequency detail. So what we want to do then is I'm just going to shuffle this into. So we've got that RGB. I think the green channel's quite good. The red channel's quite good as well. GB. Let's try the green channel. So shuffle that into the alpha. And we can stick a grade on there actually. I think so. And then if we stick a grade on here, and then what we can do is if we just plug that into there like that, we can start to play around with the gain. See the hair, like see. Is that the right resolution? Sorry, this is the wrong resolution. It's just going to make this the right resolution so it matches up. There you go, it's matched up now. There you go. So you start to see that coming through. So that's our like hair. And we can what we can then do is that's under that. Just turn this off. I don't think it's the right place at the moment. Oh, I see. What resolution is that? That's fine. That's fine. What resolution is this? That's fine. Check the resolution of the footage, the actual shot. That's there. Put this, what we'll do is we'll actually stick that there. Reformat down and then do reformat there in as well. Take this away a second. Oh, is it this that's a problem? No, it's fine. 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 There you go. I think that's right now. So if we just then put this over the top. We'll start to see some detail come in a minute. So what we'll do is we'll just play around with our alpha. And actually change his color to say more of a brown color. It's quite hard to see, but these dudes probably just pop this, make this pop this a bit more. Oops. We start to increase that. There we go. There you go. You start to see some more detail come through in the hair. See that? Start to see that popping a bit more. And it might be that we need to just change the RGB. So it might be what I chosen. Let's try red channel instead. Might be that we get a better result this way. So you start to get these really fine details, these fine hair details popping. It's very subtle, but it does make difference. Cool. So the next thing you probably want to do is you might want to just say track the footage as well. So we could do a quick tracker on that if you like. Let's just do a quick tracker. Obviously, I've removed markers, which is a bit annoying, but what can you do? We can just track. We'll just track the front. And we'll also fix the alpha channels as well, the ones that are missing. So we'll just track that. You probably won't be getting any, obviously, we're missing parallax and stuff from the background, but you get the idea in terms of background moving. Okay. So it's the match move, create, and then let's bring this down. Set this to say 10. Well, set this to there, that's fine. Set this to 101. Set backgrounds, just stick that there, that's fine. There you go. That's moving, which is great. I'm going to zoom into this hair. It seems to be like an offset, to be honest. See, we're getting like a fringing going on. Let's turn off this grade. Yeah, it's getting this weird fringing. It's like it's offset. But again, what you do with this actually is we would just need. We can look at that now. You just need the RGB. Well, you just need a little bit on the top. So what you do there is you'd have to do like a mask. So do merge again, like so. And we just need like the hair bit, like that. Just the front. That's what you need. You want to track it as well, so you want to track the roto for that. Whoops, around. There you go, great. So you just want to track the roto for that. Obviously that'll be over the top of there, and then that weird fringing would go now. But you're getting this nice. Look at the difference between the two. You're getting this nice hair detail starting to come back. Hard to tell here, to be honest, not really. It's very, very subtle. But it's it's keeping us a lot of detail in, to be honest. Which is great. That seems to be working fairly well for us. I've got a feeling that this is offset, because it just looks strange to me. It looks like it's. Let's look at that. That looks right, doesn't it? Yeah, it does look right. No, it doesn't. Oh. So that's. It's interesting. That needs to be the way around. I think the match move needs to be above. And this needs to be here. There you go. That was the problem. I think the match move was also match moving everything else. So now that's looking ridiculous. The grades is too much. So there, I'm just going to reset this again to default, and we will just play around with our gain. you start to see that it's starting to come back, the detail that which we thought, yeah, so that's why it looks a bit strange before, because we couldn't really see much. You start to see detail coming back there. Again, we just need to be subtle with it. Kind of experiment between the different channels. Yeah, and we can obviously change the color to match what we prefer. You know, closer to the original. Oh, it's a bit too much, to be honest. There you go. Yeah, it just helps those hair details. That's how like it's not actually there, but cool. Okay, great. So then what we then do is, well, we want to, scale's not quite right, is it? So let's just make this a bit bigger. There you go. Just make this a bit smaller here, just do reformat on it. So, you know, it's not too bad. Let's just over a little bit. We can see it works really, really well about against this against this background. If we moved it like this, it'll start to break. So you know, we are playing to the strengths there of putting it against this background. There's always a tricky one, it really is. This one, the back looks quite good. So this is looking okay. So what we need to do now is just fill these holes. So we've got our alpha that we've chosen here. We just want to get these holes filled in, I think, now. So what we'll do is just do a merge. And I'm just going to do just going to bring this down to see where the holes are exactly. I'm just going to make sure that I cover the holes. And we might have to do like another tracker actually, which we think we've got a tracker anyway we can use for all this stuff. So just do that for the minute. There we go. So now put this over the top. There you go. We fill that in, which is great. And we now want to just grab this match move because that's the one we used anyway on the button. So we can use that to drive that. Like so. Great. I'm actually just going to move this up a little bit. I'm just going to add it to the patch. Add that patch there. So this is kind of like edge treatment. It's right size. And then if we have a quick look now between the two, you can see that we're getting that information back where we want it to, which is great. Great. It's a tricky customer keying, to be honest. It really is. It's just a matter of just seeing what works. Like I said, a lot of it's just outsourced. I mean, you might end up doing if we're working on, say we're doing, let me say we're doing post fizz, you just have to just do a rough key. It wouldn't even need to be perfect. That's all. You can just use a key light on it, an edge blur, and that's it. That's all you'd have to do. When it comes to doing it professionally, if you're a junior compositor, you might do it, but a lot of the time it just gets outsourced as well. But it is really good to know how to do. So let's just kind of go over what we've done. We've had a look at a background, done a bit of a screen clean on it, just to help us with the key. We've had a look at different keying options, but we decided to go with the Primat in the end. At this point, all we need is the alpha. That's all. So it doesn't matter if it looks like this and broken. All we need is the alpha. And we copied that across to our D spill, and our preferred option was the kill spill with a bit of a hue correct on it. And we've got this set up for doing grading, which is cool. Got a bit of a color smear on the hair, just to help the hair out a little bit. A bit of an edge blur, reformat, and then put it underneath there. We can always try the other one you can try as well is the kill outline, sorry. But it might break stuff. I mean, this has actually done a fairly good job. A little, it's not done too bad. So it's doing something strange up here. So it's a matter of just seeing what works. I don't think we need the color. I don't think we need it over there. I mean, that looks pretty good to me. It's filling it on everything with color, and so is that as well. So, but I think we could probably omit. I don't think we need this to be eroded, to be honest. I think this is okay. So you could probably omit, like over here. Set this bit and just omit that bit. There you go. Maybe make it a bit smaller. The shape that big, do we? Oh God. Okay. There you go. Right. Yeah, so we're just getting that there now, which is great. It kind of helps with these edges as well. We're actually getting a bit of green on this edge here, and it actually helps with the edge as well with this color smear, which is nice. And we've got obviously getting a bit of an edge on here, and that helps with that as well. So it does a really nice job of just getting us over the line, to be honest. The kill outline takes a lot of this detail away now. Like, this is an interesting spot now. So it might be that we use the kill spill to tweak this a little bit more now. So we can use something called the spill tweak. We can potentially just choose the background, and that will start to really help our edges. Look at that now. Let's go backwards. Let me just choose our background. We can choose that, and that will help this area. And our hair's looking really nice now. Looking really nice. Now it's just going back to the kill spill and using this spill tweak. So that works well for that bit there. Did like a sample of both. I mean, what does that look like? Yeah, it's not quite working because it's quite dark, but this works quite well. So we might want to do like an extra bit of treatment for this area here. So let's just go to. So let's quickly look at what it looks like actually. So you see there, got this transparency on the edges, which we are losing from our matte. So we are losing quite a lot of that from our matte. It's still transparent, but it's not doing what we want. Blur, reformat under. It looks weird. It looks kind of okay, doesn't it? But it's not quite right, is it? So if we just did a kill outline on it, maybe that's what we need. Like, because you'd see the black coming through, to be honest. So maybe we just need the kill outline to be on this that bit at the back. Because then we're obviously losing there. I like what it's doing. I like the hair over here. It's looking quite good. Fairly good. So let's just do a shape on the back like that. And we could probably get the roto shape to, and then just do mask. It's just there now. And we could do like an edge blur on that just to kind of help it along. Here we go. So it's not looking too bad. I mean, we've been on this now. Obviously, we had the crash, but we've not been in that long, and we've done a fairly good job. We have a quick look at the grade now for the. Can we push this a bit further? Let's see if we can push this a bit further now. So this is the additive keyer. So I'm just going to type what that is. So additive keyer backdrop additive. It's basically just a from. It's a from with a blur, so this leaves a frequency. So if you look at the two, obviously that's a from, it's black, and then you just do that, that's what it leaves, which is pretty cool. We can probably increase this to say 10 or even 20, and that's gonna make it pop even more. But the difference is bigger. There's our hair. I've not tracked it, but you know, you might want to track it. So really starting to get to the. They're starting to refine this now. It'll definitely make a difference having that hair in. So you see that we're getting just bits and pieces coming in. We have to be careful though, because we are. You might want to denoise this because it is really, really noisy in places. See, like, you know, we're getting some stuff coming in here now. It's not bad, to be honest. You know, getting quite a lot. It's hard to tell, to be honest, with you know, because we used the spill tweak to to help as well. So that's the back part. That's the front part. So let's grab this match move again. So stick that on there. Let's keep it like that. That's fine. And then this is the. I'll just use a match move for that as well. So you'd want to really track the guy. You'd want to track the guy, to be honest. I'm talking about there. This is the one, isn't it? Yeah, that's that patch. I'm just going to use that. Use it everywhere. So you probably want to track the guy because he moves independently from the plate, but doesn't move that much, I don't think. Okay, great. So that is pretty much it. So we've gone over quite a few. We've gone over a few core concepts. I've recorded the whole set. I've not recorded the first part because it was crash after crash. But I've recorded this part. So we've got the whole setup. We've also looked at the keyer as well. We looked at cleaning your screen. That's the preferred method, my preferred method. A few different variations of how to do mats. And I chose to just use the prime mat on this. And then we've got a few options for key for spill and how you can combine spill and cue correct. And we then literally just grabbed our mat from over here, like so. And we basically did a bit of work on some of the edges, used a color smear, edge blur, reformatted it and put it under our footage. And there's our final shot. I've not done the degrain on it, but I don't need to show you how to do that. But it's not bad. Not bad. So a bit of to and fro-ing, but we got there in the end. And it's not looking too bad at all. Like them edges and the hair's looking pretty decent. Worked quite well in the background. Yeah, not bad at all. Cool. All right. So that's the end of the session tonight. So you've been given like a brief, like my essentials for keying. There will be a series as well coming out shortly. I wanted to complete it today, but it's not quite there yet. So this is what you'll have as a resource. So you should be able to grab a shot, and there'll be information put on the Keying Essentials Slack page. So where to grab a shot. You'll also have access to this stuff as well. So I'll have everything organized for you, so you can just grab it and start doing practicing on this shot, and then start applying it to your own shot. Now there's other shots as well where you've got an actor as bald, so that's a lot easier to key, and it's less tricky. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the detail. We've retained quite a lot of detail there, so quite happy with how that's gone. That's not taken that long to do, to be honest. If you think about it, it's not been too bad. Yeah, cool. All right, the script will be available as well, so feel free to grab the script. When you open it, you'll be missing, there'll be errors on these two bits and the background as well. But I'll add these so you can just plug them in. Yeah, cool. All right. So watch out for the new Keying series. I have got a set of tutorials that are already been made, but I'd rather you not look at them because it's a little bit outdated in terms of my workflow. So this is more kind of what I would do now if I was doing a key on a plate. Okay, I'm just going to stop sharing.
Thanks, Paul.
Yeah, I hope that was okay. And I will, so next week, I'm just going to stop recording.